Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and I am excited to tell you guys that the misdemeanors are in. That means that the countdown has begun. If you're watching this, the countdown has already started. It is linked in the description. Just go to the top of the description and click the link, and it will take you to the site where you can see the countdown. The countdown, as soon as the countdown's up, that's when they can be purchased, which will be Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time. Trying to give everybody an opportunity to get one. Now, people were asking me, does the production version still have the ting? And yes, they're actually even better than the prototypes, but there are some that it's more minimal on. It's very light, or, you know, there's a few that seem like they don't have it, but the majority of them have it. Some are just a little bit lighter, and some of them ring for like 5 seconds. Some of them are just like, they're super loud and they just keep ringing. Listen to that. Amazing. So let's go over the knives and some of the changes and you know, all the stuff. So one, we have 4 different versions, 100 of each version. DLC options will be a little over 300. And the plain ones will be a little under 300. So it's right around $300, $315 for DLC, $295 for the plain ones. Now, this one has a deep satin K390 blade. They're all K390. You can see the K390 right there. That was one of the changes. Captured pivot with the Neeveknifeco logo, and then we changed some of the finishes. Obviously, we have a deep satin, and then instead of 95 thousandths, the blade is now 90 thousandths thick with a very, very deep hollow grind. Now, the plain versions are 63 HRC. The DLC coated versions are 62. So 63 plus and then 62. You lose 1 HRC count or number with coating, with the DLC. So either way, like if I had, you know, the choice to just snap my fingers and make it whatever HRC I would have wanted, I would have probably went with 64, maybe possibly 65. But here's the thing, is that any loss in the HRC is going to be made up with the geometry. This is a performance knife, and you want to talk about bringing the most out of K390 with this geometry. This is an absolute laser beam. Now, the thing is though, this is a knife guy's knife. This is not for somebody who doesn't know how to use a knife or who uses a knife, you know, like a hammer. This is a performance knife. So it's going to scream through cuts, but that also means that it's not going to be tough. So it is not something that you want to be tough on. You want to use it for cutting purposes only. But in that case, this is, you know, just is probably as good as it gets. So thin behind the edge. Let me measure that really quick. I haven't even done that on the productions yet. With their edge angle, we're looking at 12,000 on that one. Try one of the DLC ones really quick. This one looks like the bevel's slightly bigger. Yeah, 12, 13 thousandths. So that is very, very thin behind the edge with 90 thousandths blade stock thickness. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that for cutting. Now, let's talk about some of the other changes and stuff. Or actually, let's go through the version. So you have the plain one here. Then we have the all DLC with a fine satin finish. This is the only one that does not have a deep satin. And just to show you the differences here, you can see this one's got the deep satin. Let me wipe the fingerprints off of the DLC. You can see this one's got the deep, and then this one's got the fine satin. Now, originally, this one was supposed to have polished hardware. When I seen them finished, you know, there was nothing I could do. It was already done, and I didn't want it to take more time, so I just left it alone. I didn't say anything, but it was supposed to have polished hardware and a polished clip and backspacer. Now, if I do this version, or if I do some more batches of this, I'm going to have one made with the polished hardware and with a polished edge around the coral. I think that would look sick. And I also think doing the same thing to this one would be cool. Polished hardware and then a polished outline around the coral. Now, the the hardware is T10 all the way around. So that is really awesome. That means that you're going to have a very unlikely chance of it stripping out. I love large hardware, and T10 is going to be even more durable than T8. This one has a deep satin finish, plain handle, polished hardware with a blue ano. Now, I did scratch this one already. That was me. Which, you know, that can happen, especially with polished blue anodization. The knife, though, is, I think, a little over 4 ounces. It's like 4.2, which is actually really good. 3.6-inch blade with no milling on the inside. So that is actually relatively light. I did not want to put milling in here because the knife is already so light with the blade, you know, and with the thinner handle and stuff, that I didn't want it to feel too light. I wanted it to have a little bit of weight so it felt like a tool. Now, it's not heavy by any means. It's actually pretty lightweight. I would consider it a lightweight knife personally, but yeah, I'm glad I did not mill out the insides. And then this one has the blasted finish with the green ano. I think the green came out and so nice. And then you can see the deep satin once again with the DLC. So what else? The clip. The clip is, you can't even tell. If I pull up a prototype, you can't even see that there's a difference in the clip. It is so subtle. It's a very, very, very tiny amount. Now, I will be honest, that's the one thing I'm not happy with. I'm not happy with the clip. I wish the clip was better. It's fine. Like, it's not bad. And everybody who reviewed it said that they were fine with it. They liked it. But I think it could be a lot smoother, and I wish it was smoother. It has a little bit more tension than I prefer. Now, that is going to break in just like my other ones, you know, over time. They got a lot more spring. You know, just from going in and out of the pocket, but that is something that I think could have been better, and I wish I would have done better. But, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, it still works well. It's fine, but it definitely could be smoother. Now, there is, just so you know, there is a flat spot underneath the clip. It's not like the coral is underneath the clip. It is a flat spot underneath, and then we put the lock bar cutout on the inside, so you never have to worry about it jumping over that or getting caught on that. So with that, you know, I would have really liked the clip to be just a little bit smoother, considering all the other work we put into making sure it was going to be a smooth clip. But, you know, it's still fine. Like I said, I'm pretty much the only person I've heard complain about it. But so what else? The pivot, captured pivot now with the Neeveknifeco logo on the pivot. And then, like I said, the satin finish, the clip's slightly extended, T10 hardware all the way around. And then, you know, the finishes, that was the big difference. The box is, you know, nothing special. We wanted to keep the price down, so we didn't go crazy on packaging. You know, it was, do you want the money to go into a knife or into the packaging? I know, I love that tag, man. I know it feels good getting amazing packaging, but you know, and trust me, I get it. You know, I like, you know, really good packaging as well, but the most important part to me is the knife. So I'd rather the money personally go into the knife, not the packaging. And we wanted very badly to keep this at $300, right around $300. We didn't want to go too far over $300 because K390 DLC, I don't know of another K390 DLC, especially done by any other company other than Spyderco does, you know, K390. I don't know of any company besides Spyderco that uses K390. The only other one I can think of is Reat did one for I think, what was it, the one of the Bokers, but that was the only time I ever seen them use it as well. So I think that this is something very special, considering, one, K390 is my favorite steel. I love K390. One, it holds an edge for so long. But the other thing that I love is that it has the ability to take some of the sharpest edges I've ever experienced. It's just a steel that does extremely well with whatever grit you want to put on it. If you want a toothy finish, if you want a polished finish, the mirror polished edges wind up having incredible bite. So this is a steel that just does extremely, extremely well for sharpeners if you like sharpness, right? So I love sharpness, and I also love, you know, edge retention and the ease of sharpening and all that. And to me, K390 is easy to sharpen. It holds an edge for like ever. It's not the most corrosion resistant, but it's also not bad. If you keep it clean, keep it dry, you shouldn't worry about, you know, corrosion, unless if you live in a really, really bad environment for corrosion. But other than that, you should be fine. And then if you are that worried about it, DLC version, right? What else? Let's talk about the action really quick. The detents came out great. Very happy with the detents. The front flipper is, in my opinion, it's shaped really nice for basically every type of flip you want to do. The jimping is not super aggressive, but it is sharp, so it'll catch you a good amount without, you know, being too slippery. Now the leverage point of the front flipper makes it where it's very easy to use. And even if you're left-handed, these are easy to reverse flick. No, it doesn't have a reversible clip, but even with your finger on the lock bar, you can reverse flick it. So for lefties, it actually works really, really well for lefties. Now, as far as the reverse flick goes, that is the primary deployment, is the reverse flick, and then obviously the front flipper. The thumb flick is not the best because it, you know, it wasn't the important part to me. I know people were saying, why didn't you put a thumb stud there? And I almost did. I actually was thinking about that. And maybe if we do another batch, maybe I will. But this one doesn't have that. You can thumb flick it, but you have to reach down, and it's just not very satisfying. But that reverse flick is money. That's, you know, that's the sweet spot. Now, perfect centering, you know, all of them are rock solid lockup. Like I said, not hard use knives. I wanted amazing access to that lock bar. Love the texturing on it. Plunge grind starts here and ends right there. Tons of life to sharpen off. And one thing I really love about having, ooh, you can just see it right there, from there to there, so you have all of that life. That means that when you're sharpening, you have clearance. So, you know, being a knife sharpener, you know, I wanted these little details. A performance steel with performance geometry, you know, done well, that it's prepared to be sharpened, right? So this, you have so much clearance. See that? So you'll never hit the plunge grind. So if this was my sharpening stone and I'm coming up like that, see, there's clearance there. You see that shadow behind the edge? That is, you know, because I'm not hitting. Now, if it had a bad plunge grind, what would happen is as soon as I go like this, it would hit right there. But it's not, because it's done well. So very happy with the plunge grind, which also is a good finger choil. So you have great ergonomics, choked up, choked back. Any grip, this is going to be very comfortable in, you know, regardless of what grip you're in. Even the pinch grip is really good. You got a nice little spot for your finger right there. You have a lot of control with this knife. An amazing amount of control, which is good because the geometry of this thing is, if you mess up, it's gonna be a bad day. This is geometry it'll take it to the bone every time. So be careful. Like I said, it's a knife guy's knife. It's not, you know, just anybody's, you know, type of knife. This is going to be specifically for somebody looking for cutting performance. Now, yeah, I think that wraps pretty much everything up. Like I said, maybe in the future, I'm discussing it right now with my partner, whether or not we're going to do another batch or not, which we have talked about doing all kinds of different versions, like bolster options, you know, maybe inlay options, whatever. We're still discussing that. Also, the knives are going to be shipped from the Neeveknifeco headquarters. Me and my partner Chase are the ones, you know, running Neeveknifeco, or own Neeveknifeco, and the headquarters is in Nevada. So they're not going to be shipped from my house. They're going to be shipped from Nevada. Also, as far as shipping overseas, we are trying really hard to do that. It's just shipping overseas. You know, there's like a bunch of things, you know, you have to do, and we do not have the capabilities right now to do that. And, you know, with the payment processors and stuff like that, it's just, it's weird. We're trying to get the ability to do that, but we can't yet. Now, if you are overseas and you do want to get one, you could, if you have a friend in the community that lives in the USA, you could have them purchase it and then ship it to you. So that is one way to go around that. But anyways, I'm very happy with them. And I think that this is going to be, I think you guys are going to love them. I think everybody who gets them is going to be very happy with their purchase. And, you know, and I hope, you know, whoever's watching this, I hope you're able to get one. I know some people are not going to be able to. And for that reason, we might do another batch. We might even do a budget version, a fixed blade option. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. So far, I'm loving it. Like I said, the only thing I'd really change is the finishes on these two if I was going to redo it again, or actually the way it was supposed to be. And then the clip, I wish it was a little bit smoother. Not bad, just I wish it was a little bit smoother. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.